Text mo kaya si Den.
Ay, live na ako, baby. Hi, Luis! Good evening! Alam mo na. Yan. Good evening. Aba, all the way from Sweden. Hello, Cha. Kamusta? Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, share na natin live video. Alam na natin. Okay, hold on. Oh, dito pala siya muna. Yun. Okay. Yan. Okay. Okay. Good evening. Ay, shush. Hindi nila nakikita pero nasa gilid dun si Kala. Nakabantay sa daddy. Okay. Ay, sandali. Kakabit ko lang yung aking boya. Hold on. Ay, shush. Ay. Kala. Nilalaro niya yung yung boya. Okay. Ayan. Do I sound, Luis, is my voice quality okay? Okay ba yung Kaka-plug in ko lang nung aking boya. Uy, 222 sa time. Thank you naman. Ayan. Sige. Tayin lang natin. Okay. Yun. Ay, hello. Hi, Beshi Team. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Alam mo na, share natin yung video. And if any of you guys would want to participate in tonight's session, syempre, go ahead and send in those questions. And then later on, we will start with our guidelines as always, so that para sa mga tanong natin, dapat we are very much guided kung ano yung how we're going to ask these questions, syempre. Yes, Kala, ay shush. Yan. Oh my gosh, hello Rain. Yan, perfect attendance na uli ang ang team natin, di ba? Okay. Tarot TV, is it T or ano? Oo naman, go ahead. By the way, let me type in I'm so happy naman meron akong fellow reader here. Actually, there's another fellow tarot reader here. It's si Scout, si Luis. You can also check her out, Moon Scout in IG. Is it Moon Scout 22, I believe? Tama ba? May number. Teka. Let's just type in the guidelines here. Okay. Oh my God, ayan na, mga attendance natin. Hi, Mary, all the way from Singapore. I really love how we're turning global each time we go our live sessions, no? Moon Scout 22, yun, very good. So that's her IG account. Yan. Okay, how Eric going to... Okay. So by the way, if you have questions, if you have also done sharing, thank you submitting your questions. Sige, go ahead. By the way, for those who would want to participate in tonight's session, anong tawag nito? Meron tayong guidelines, okay? So, as much as possible, refrain from posting your questions here sa ating comment section because as much as possible, syempre we want to honor each and everybody's privacy here. And pwede naman natin sagutin yung mga tanong na yan, pero syempre para naman para ma-honor yung privacy natin, we will just provide you instructions on how to send and participate those questions, okay? Okay. Oy, thank you naman, Tarot TV with T. Thank you naman for subscribing. Okay, so let me just type in our instructions and guidelines for tonight here, and then let me pin it as well. Okay. 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 All questions answered. Okay. Okay. Ishika, hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yan. Let me just... Ay, masyado palang mahaba. Okay. Okay, hold on. Kaya pala ayaw mag-submit. Ayan, ganyan pa lang pala talaga dapat. Okay. Let me just pin the post. Okay. Yan. Okay, for everybody who want to participate in tonight's session, nakapost sa ating comment section yung ating guidelines. And again, we're going to, as much as we can, and I know some of you have submitted their questions last Tuesday because we also do this every Tuesday night, same time, same channel. And some of you may not be able to participate last week kasi mahaba talaga yung pila natin. So, feel free to send in those questions right now. Medyo nag-iingay na uli yung ating yung ating Facebook page. So here are our instructions. If you would want to participate in tonight's session, all you need to do is share this live video in your social media accounts and then take a screenshot of that, and then pakisend yung proof of billing. Pakisend yung proof sa ating official Facebook page. It's at Everyday Reiki with Marky. Send it to our inbox, and then first come, first serve po tayo for tonight. I know some of you will have multiple questions. Okay lang yan. What we will do, we will always finish the queue first, answer one question at a time, and if we have more time, we will do follow-throughs with the previous questions naman. Okay? And this is also, syempre, to make sure na lahat naman makakapag-participate fairly for tonight's session. And syempre, just in case naman na I know some of you may have several questions, as ma-entertain yung isang questions. Kung mabitin kayo, don't worry, because we always do this weekly and we're doing it twice in a week, every Tuesday and Thursday nights. And this is really something that will not just cater to reading any possibilities or any questions that you may have. We are also opening today's session if you are also needing healing, because I'm a Reiki master and teacher, and I really love sharing the gift of healing to everybody, especially to those who may need it. Now, you may also have prayer requests or healing requests. You may know of people, either friends or family, who are experiencing any type of illness, or maybe they got infected with COVID-19. Do not hesitate to comment on their names here. Any people that you would want us to send healing to. Me and my students, almost 400 students that I have, every day we are maintaining this list, a group of people that we keep healing every day, and we've been successfully getting a lot of miracles because of the continuous prayers and healing that we send. So, wag kalimutan na and wag mahihiya mag-send in ng mga natin. Okay. Ay, Lariel, Diyos ko po. Oh my gosh. So, by the way, nandito na ang Team Mega World. so sa mga gusto ng mga investments yan, very good investments. We have Rain and Lariel here. They are both from Mega World. So, okay, mahiya, send them a message if you're also wanting for sound investments, ayan na. Wala kakalimutan, syempre, si Rain, she also offers very nice shoes and jewelry. So go ahead. Okay, mahiya, mag-send, drop in those links in your Instagram. Okay, mahiya. We're all a community here. We are always here to love and support each other, lalo na sa mga businesses natin. So go ahead, feel free to just drop your Instagram accounts there. Tsaka lalo na si Larel, Diyos ko po, meron din siyang masarap na chicharon. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay. Where is Kala? Oh my gosh, Kala is here. Nandiyan lang siya sa bedside kasi kanina nandito siya sa gilid ko and medyo hindi ko siya masyadong mabigyan ng attention. So medyo lumipat siya doon sa may bedside. Okay. So, ano, of course, Rain. So this is really a place for us, no? Okay. So I know some of us here are here. Syempre, we have questions or we are here for the guidance. Pero syempre, itotodo natin yung community natin. We are really here to keep supporting each other, lalo na sa ating mga businesses. I'm really an advocate of supporting local. So we love you. Ay, thank you naman. Love you too. Yan. So, by the way, anong tawag? Teka. Sitting in to get positivity. Oh, thank you naman, Mary. Okay, so you know what? Let us officially start our session for tonight kasi medyo nag-iingay na yung ating yung inbox. So para as much as we can, marami na tayong matulungan for tonight. So as you may know, if you're also new here, I am a practicing Hindu and we always start our session with a prayer. I will be saying my prayers in Hindu and feel free to also say a little prayer with me. Let us all, no matter what religion or belief system you're following, I highly encourage to say a little prayer with me and let us all pray for guidance, protection, and wisdom for tonight's session. Pero I'm also giving an additional treat for everybody dahil nga Thursday is actually Guru Day. It's Guru Day, so I'm going to offer a prayer to honor all of our gurus. But kailangan ko ng props, sandali. Baby, yan. Meron tayong may as you can see, if you're also here last Thursday, yan, thank you, baby. I offer a prayer through chanting a mantra through a song. I also play. Okay, very good. And my fellow reader here, si Luisi Scout, she also plays the ukulele like I do. Mas magaling pa nga. Collab soon, alam mo. Okay, so let's say a little prayer, everybody, and let us honor all the gurus in us, and also let us feel God's presence as we go through tonight's session. Okay. Om 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 Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshvara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshvara. Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshvara. Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Whew, wow. Okay. I hope you felt that energy there. Naku po, thank you. I'm also going to offer another prayer in a form of, I'm going to be chanting a prayer. And this is another prayer to honor the gurus. Okay. And this prayer is very very close to my heart, because when we talk about honoring the gurus, we're literally not just talking about our teachers in the academe or our spiritual leaders and gurus. We are honoring all forms of gurus out there, which, by the way, in the word guru is a Sanskrit word, gu meaning remover, and ru meaning darkness. So remover of darkness. All of the gurus, may it be in the academe, may it be our spiritual leaders, our parents, our very first teachers, also our own life experiences, and how time is teaching us all that. These are all the gurus that we all need to honor every day, especially on a Thursday. Thursday in Vedic astrology, Thursdays is dedicated to the planet Jupiter, and planet Jupiter is the representation of the guru. And today is Guru Day. So I'm also offering this prayer and mantras to our Lord Jupiter, Lord Brihaspati. And of course, I'm also sharing this to everybody who's tuned in tonight to honor each one of you, as you are also my gurus. Twameva mata cha pita twameva, twameva bandhush cha sakha twameva, twameva vidya dravinam twameva, twameva sarvam mama deva deva, 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 twameva mata cha pita twameva, twameva bandhush cha sakha twameva, twameva vidya dravinam twameva, twameva sarvam mama deva deva, 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 twameva sarvam mama deva deva. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Okay. Wow. I hope you also felt the energy in that. Again, that song, that prayer basically is a prayer that honors all of our gurus. And remember, as we go through our session for tonight, all of the wisdom and the guidance that we will all be receiving in tonight's session will all be coming from our gurus. So, thank you again, all our gurus, and thank you, Lord God, for this blessing for tonight. Good evening, everybody. My name is Marky Mendoza. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, and also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher. Welcome to Tarot Thursdays. Okay, we are here on a Thursday night to provide free reading for everybody. So kung kayo, may mga katanungan kayo, anything na katungkol sa mga love, career, or anything naman sa health natin, akong bahala sa inyo. And our session for tonight is not limited to just asking questions or seeking possibilities sa mga questions natin. We are also offering tonight's session if you're also needing some healing. Again, I'm an energy healer, and together with almost 400 students that I have in our family, we are all going to send healing to everyone na nangangailangan. So, welcome in tonight's session. So, sa mga gusto mag-participate participate tonight, meron tayong mga guidelines. And if you're going to ask, saan ba natin what is our basis na when we read the energy of the person who's wanting to ask, ano ba yung basis natin? We are reading the energy of the person and the current energy there is. So, if you're going to ask naman, ano naman yung mga elements that is comprised of our energies? So, there are three elements that are comprised of our energies. And again, these are all current. So, current thoughts, anything that we're processing in our minds. From the things that we're processing in our mind, next will be the decisions, the current decisions that we are going to take. Also, these decisions, remember, as we sort out the things that we are planning in our thoughts, we're going to choose from that. And then from those selections for the decisions that we're going to finally see as deemed fit on the situation, we are finally going to take action. Now, once we already start taking action, it will now be subject to the universal spiritual law of cause and effect. We commonly know it as the golden rule, or for us Hindus, we call it karma, or simply, it is the universal law of cause and effect, which is everything is subjected to. Anything in the past, anything that we have right now, we're experiencing right now, is always a product of cause and effect. Now, sa lahat na magtatanong, sa lahat na magpa-participate, anything about your love, your career, and your health, yun na magiging basis natin ng energy. Now, I know some of you may have questions na ang sagot, I will be needing to look at somebody else's energy. And these are in cases of relationships, either romantic relationship, these can be your friends or family. Basta kung ang tanong ninyo, imbes na sa energy ninyo ko hahanapin, sa ibang energy ko hahanapin, and if the person na hahanapan ko ng energy, they are not aware or they don't have prior knowledge that I'm going to look at their energy. Parang look at it this way. Para akong titingin sisilip sa bahay ng iba na wala naman akong permission. And if that happens, this will be a case of overstepping, or simply it will be like a case of invasion of privacy. Meron kasing karma yon. Yung karma hindi mapupunta dun sa nagtanong, dun sa sumagot. Okay, ang dami ko ng ganyan, guys. Okay, so be very mindful. Anong tawag dito? But my say, whatever questions you may have, do not hold back. Kasi sa totoo lang, meron naman tayong pwedeng gawin for us to still read the energies and the possibilities for that. All we need to do is to include your energy dun sa equation. Now, that means, let's say there are two people involved dun sa question. So, we will involve both energies together and split it accordingly. Now, just in case, I want you to know that comparing that kind of question versus kung sa sarili mong energy lang natin nahanapin yung sagot, I'm telling you, when it comes to basta two or more people are involved in the equation, there is a chance na maiba yung possibility. Why? Because remember, our basis in reading the energy is current thoughts, decisions, and actions. Given that you are not going to change your energy, but if the other people involved in the question, somehow, somewhere, anytime that they change their thoughts, decisions, and actions, pwede nang maiba yung possibility. Kasi remember, everything is according to the law of cause and effect. So anytime na magbago yung isip nila, or more so yung actions nila, pwede talaga magbago ang possibilities. Now remember, the most accurate questions na makukuha natin will be according to your own energy, syempre. Dahil you are the only ones who can control your energy. And anything outside of us, externally, we don't have any control over that. Ang kayang-kaya lang natin talaga ay yung sa atin. Also, I am going to use my favorite tarot deck for when I read. So this is going to be the Golden Tarot, just in case you're meaning to ask what tarot deck I'm using. This is the Golden Tarot. And this is by Kat Black, by the way. Siya yung author nitong or at least the what do you call this, the artist in the chosen tarot deck that I have. There are two types of cards na makukuha natin if you're going to be asking questions. One is a major card and one is a minor card. So if in our questions, ang mabunot natin na card will be a major card, that is also a clear na message. Either it's going to be a clear blessing or a clear warning. And in cases of minor cards, di naman ibig sabihin di siya maganda. Ang ibig sabihin lang, kung ano man yung question natin and we get a minor card, there are just things to work on so that we can manifest it fully. So look in the case yung para siyang fruit na pinapahinog natin. If it's ripe for the picking, we get a major card. Pag hindi pa masyadong hinog, we get a minor card. Okay? So, for our guidelines for tonight, if you would want to participate, simply just share this live video, take a screenshot of that in your social media, and then please send it in our inbox in our official Facebook page. That's Everyday Reiki with Marky. Now, I know some of you, we are friends online. I don't check my personal account. I only focus in our Facebook page para streamline lahat ng questions natin. Again, we will be answering one question at a time. I know some of you may have several questions. Okay lang yun. Okay lang yun. What we will do, we will make sure we finish all the queue for fairness and equality. We will answer one question at a time. And then once we're able to finish all the queue, we will entertain follow-through questions. Okay? Now we will officially start our session for tonight. Maraming salamat again. Do not forget to share this live video because again, just in case naman na hindi tayo magpa-participate, okay lang yun because you wouldn't really know kung sino sa mga nasa network natin in our social media who may be needing our guidance and wisdom. Imagine ikaw pa yung naging blessing sa kanila. Okay? Okay, hold on. Tingnan na natin yung ating first participant. Okay. While my cell phone is loading, ano to? Sandali. Ano nangyari? Okay. 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 Now, remember, okay, teka nga. Okay. Okay, so ang dami na. Sandali. Okay. Ayan. Ayan. Okay. So by the way, again, for us to participate in tonight's session, yung pin post, yan yung magiging basis natin ng ating guidelines. Okay? Ayun, okay. So we have our first participant at suki natin to. Very good, very good. Okay. By the way, one last reminder, sa lahat ng gusto mag-participate, we will always honor your identity here. We're not gonna disclose kung ano yung mga, kung sino yung magtatanong ng questions. And this is to make sure na kahit na no matter how sensitive these questions may be, rest assured ako lang ang nakakita nito. And also refrain from putting your questions here on the comment section para naman syempre ma-maintain din natin yung privacy natin, di ba? And then I will only read out the questions. So for those who may be a little busy while nasagot ko yung question ninyo, you can always go back and rewatch this episode because everything that we're gonna do in this session will be fully recorded and will be posted here in our channel. So, para sa first participant natin, here we go. Hi, Master. I pray super okay and well ka today. Ay, thank you naman. I am. Okay, eto na. I'm planning kasi to import and sell plus-size underwear and kids' clothes. Super specific kahit huwag mo na i-mention. Sorry. Kaya lang, nabasa ko na bago ko nakita yung yung disclaimer. Sorry na. Okay. Kukuha pa lang ako ng underwear but the kids' clothes ang akuha na pang sample. Mag-prosper kaya ako na mag-sell ng mga damit underwear na to itong last quarter of 2021 and next years. Mag-boom kaya dito despite na madami nang nagbebenta. Okay, tignan natin. First and foremost, by the way, anong tawag dito? Before I draw cards for everybody, may say do not be afraid of competition. If that is actually one of the concerns that you may have, parang if you are mindful that there are competition out there. I'm telling you, when we talk about any type of product out there, talk about gulay, let's say, marami naman nagbebenta. But marami din nangangailangan. Okay? So, first of all, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid if you're only considering na ang dami na gumagawa yung ganito. Of course, that's a factor, yes. But definitely, one way or another, you can always utilize your own market. And of course, word of mouth. One of the best marketing na strategies talaga is the word of mouth. And same goes with me and with what I do. Majority of the time, I honestly don't spend with ads and sponsor. I of course I am very blessed because I have Bessie, yan, si Janeline Mercado and Dennis Trillo who's always sharing my posts yun. So I'm so happy. But of course, syempre, as much as even before that, I really focus on word of mouth, because that is really one amazing marketing strategy. And so when you always do well with what you do, and it's going to be known, I'm telling you, it will spread like wildfire, especially if you have a very good relationship with your clients. So first of all, do not be afraid, do not hold back when it comes to that, kasi I'm pretty sure one way or another you will have your own market. So that's very important. Pero syempre, tingnan din natin yung possibility for this. And as much as we can, I have to remind everybody, yung mga questions natin, if kung tutuusin, yung mga questions lang natin, we are wanting to know either it's favorable or not favorable. No matter what questions you have, and no matter what will unfold according to the guidance that you will be receiving tonight, do not worry, because again, all we need to know is when we get something that's favorable, you want to improve it, you want to manifest it even better, faster, then improve your thoughts, decisions, and action, and then you will definitely manifest it even more. Similarly, when we have something that is unfavorable, all we need to do is just shift our thoughts, decisions, and actions, and hindi natin siya makukuha. So that is really one good thing about understanding what we also manifest. We also have to start there. Okay? So tingnan natin yung energy ng kids underwear and clothing, impossibility na mag-prosper yan for you this last quarter and next year. Sige, tingnan natin. Okay, here we go. Ay, okay. Very it's a very good it's a very good na warning that you will be receiving for today. By the way, we have received 10 of swords. 10 of swords, by the way, this is a minor card, and this is how it looks like. Okay? So, medyo it literally looks like a warning, because in a very dry land, and then we have here someone na maraming naka-attach na swords dun sa katawan. So, this is practically a warning, okay? Pero you know what? When I say this is a warning, there are other cards na mas symbolic when it comes to literally warnings. Yung tipong may major card kasi dito na the Tower that says literally, if you don't stop what you're doing, it's going to fall and crumble. So in short, that is literally one strong warning. But this is not the kind of warning that there is. So here, just do know, anong tawag dito? Kasi the question kasi, we stretched it. Remember, first quarter up to parang next year or the coming years. Okay? So parang pinahaba natin yung gauge ng ating nung what do you call this? Yung scope rather nung timeline. And I'm telling you, because pinahaba natin siyang ganun, this card is telling you that fluctuating yung sales natin for the meantime. Hindi pa to nangyayari. Okay, so remember, anything that we're reading right now is still something that is yet to manifest. Okay, so as early as now, you are already gonna be given a warning sign, so that you can start working on it. Because remember, if the card that we get is gearing towards unfavorable, it allows you to prepare even more. In short, you will have the idea on how much effort you will have to exert even more, so that you can turn this around. So from a not so favorable to make it a very favorable situation for you. Now, you know the delays that I'm seeing right now, it's actually, anong tawag dito? Okay. So, I'm gonna ask you the stocks that you're I know nag-anticipate ka, because this is something that also covers for December and the Christmas season that you're wanting to take advantage. May I ask the volume that you anticipated initially? That the thing is, with the volume that you requested, it may have gone a little over dun sa anticipation, which means there will be a certain delay to complete or to dispose of everything else. But it's not saying that you're not gonna sell them or it's not going to prosper. Only that yung initial na natin, I'm gonna ask, really, you can tell me how much volume, in terms of volume, that you requested. But you know what? Honestly, this is really a warning. And remember, this is a current energy, but it allows you to prepare even more. How? Okay? How? As early as now, you can already start marketing. As early as now, even if the products are not yet here, do not be afraid to put it out there. to let it be known, because that's one thing that will also, syempre, pag may awareness na yung mga tao, they are going to at least have it. Right now, they may not be necessarily considering it, or they're not necessarily needing it, but it doesn't mean that they won't in the future, because remember, Christmas season is nearing, and we are still in a very pandemic situation wherein there are still uncertainties in terms of, are we able to go outside and do some shopping for our Christmas needs. Christmas rush is here, and also we need to be very mindful of our health. In which, by the way, let me remind everybody to also, syempre, as much as you can, follow the health protocols if you're going to be stepping out, and as much as you can, if you can stay indoors, stay indoors. So, I'm gonna reminder. So, by the way, my say, do not be afraid to market it as early as now and get as much orders as much as you can. Because right now, syempre, kahit na hindi pa nandito, it doesn't mean na hindi na siya darating, especially kung naset naman na yung ano na, nakaset na you're gonna have this endeavor. Okay? So make sure, do your focus on marketing. And by the way, teka, do not stick in just one place. When you're going to, if there's also another guidance that I'm going to give you, parang alam mo yung concept of na I know, when we talk about online, you talk about focusing online yung ganyan, but anong tawag dito, my say, I know you also have some Facebook groups. Do not be afraid, the ones that are related, even even sa not so related, but as long as they also allow other products to be posted in these other groups online, go ahead and keep posting it. And syempre, sa atin din, sabi ko nga even naman in our every time we have Tarot Tuesdays or Tarot Thursdays here, feel free to just drop your products here, because again, this is really a community that really honors, loves, and supports each other. This is not a place of bias and judgment. So any form of help that we can, especially, syempre, especially ako, I really love supporting my friends' businesses din. And syempre, because ako din, may sarili din ako. And when I get the support from everybody, syempre ako din nakakakilig. We always have to give back. And to also, whatever blessings we receive, our duty and responsibility is to also give back and extend these blessings towards others, para imagine yung nako-complete and na flow na nako-complete natin, and that we are able to really continuously share amongst each other. Imagine that kind of community. This is the community right here. So my say, as early as now, focus on marketing. Kasi when you focus on marketing, it will give you a very good na upper hand. Do not underestimate then the power of social media. My say, if you're going to do this online, also invest on your marketing materials, because syempre it has been, parang in terms of di ba nga, here in YouTube, di ba, clickbait, di ba? Clickbait is really something that really catches the attention of everybody. And when you also syempre put an effort to your marketing materials, of course, yan yung pagmamahal yan. Di ba? Pagmamahal yan sa ginagawa natin. And that's why, especially us, if you are checking our Facebook page and you also check our contents here, we really take time. We really take time to produce our content, our materials, our marketing materials, because that reflects the love for what we do. And of course, if you spend time, if you really do that, if you always take the time, the extra effort and energy for you to provide these amazing things, it also reflects how well you are when it comes to your not just your products, how you are as passionate as you are, and that energy will be the energy that you need for abundance. Also mean that it's gonna be the same in the future. Okay, remember, what energy we put out, yun lang din ang babalik sa atin. So we continuously become consistent in doing what we can and doing it even more, going above and beyond our expectations. That really sets you apart from others, and continuously masaset mo rin continuously yung flow. So that is going to be your guidance for tonight. Huwag kang mahiya na if you have follow-through questions, go ahead and send it so that we can also address that. Or other possible na mga business ventures that you may also have, huwag mahiya itanong yan. And the same goes to everybody. But for now, thanks for joining Tarot Tuesday. Thursdays nga pala. Sorry, Tarot Thursdays. Okay. So good evening, everyone. My name again is Marky Mendoza. Welcome to Tarot Thursdays. Yan. At syempre, may proof na naman na nakaligo ako. Medyo naaliw na naman ako maligo tonight. And maya-maya kukulot na uli yan. Okay. So, by the way, I'm here to provide free tarot readings for everybody. So if you have any questions about love, career, Health ha, grabe ha, magtanong kayo sa health. Okay, so akong bahala yan. Basta make sure that you follow the guidelines and instructions in our pin post here in our comment section, and then sagutin na natin yung mga tanong natin para marami tayong matulungan tonight. Okay, tingnan natin. Okay. Yun, okay. Ang next participant natin, syempre, Suki. Okay, I'm so happy that we really are starting to build this happy community here in Tarot Thursdays and syempre Tarot Tuesdays. So, maraming salamat. So, here is our next participant's question. Marky, wanna know kung may improvement ng energy ng relationship ko since I've made changes to my mindset and approach. Thank you. Of course, tignan natin yan. And I'm so happy. Alam mo, by the way, let me remind everybody when it comes to mindfulness and our energy. So look at it this way. I really love how yung current participant natin has mentioned, I applied some change and I changed my approach. Okay, so you know what? That's the key. In anything that you would want to manifest, may it be healing, may it be the things that you would want to achieve in life, your goals, dreams, aspirations, anything. All you need to do is just be mindful of the energy. In short, we have to know muna what we're going to manifest. If we already know what we're going to manifest, that's one. If we already know what we're going to manifest, we have to be reminded that of how the universe works. How the universe works is that kung anong energy ang nilabas mo, yun lang din ang babalik sa'yo. So in short, if the goal is to manifest love, hindi natin mamamanifest yung love kung yung energy na nilalabas natin is hate, anger, envy, jealousy, anything that does not resonate love. Kung ang gusto natin clearly ang makuha is love, yun lang din ang gagawin natin. Anything that resonates love. And then, pag nilabas na natin yung energy na yun, ibig sabihin, we started taking action. In this case, you started to apply the change. And then, kung anong energy yan lang din ang babalik sa atin. Yay! Thank you so much, baby. And hindi alam natin, thank you. And alam natin for everybody na ng mga suki natin sa Tarot Tuesdays and Thursdays, hindi lilipas sa mga session natin ng walang kape. So, cheers. Pa-shot muna ako ng isang kape sa current participant natin na tayong dalawa. Cinderella Rudzinski, thank you so much naman for subscribing and for liking this video. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, by the way, I hope if any of you are not Filipinos here, or if you just let me know if you're gonna request for me to say everything in English para naman hindi tayo I don't want to sound rude naman, especially for other listeners who may not necessarily understand Filipino or Tagalog. Please do let me know if you would want or if you prefer me to speak in English. Medyo magiging anemic lang ako after, pero kaya ko to. I-heal ko na lang yung sarili ko. Medyo pag naubusan ako ng dugo, okay? I can speak English only. Okay. That's good. Okay, so thanks for letting me know. Okay, so I'm going to, please pray for me. Please pray for me as this session will all be in English. Oh my God. I'm just kidding. Okay, so going back to our guidelines. So first of all, we just have to know what we're going to manifest. Once our plan is clear, we know what to manifest. The next thing to do is to make sure that we always stay consistent with the energies that we're going to take action from. So that means if the goal is to generate love or to manifest love, anything, our thoughts, decisions, and actions would mostly resonate. Those that resonate the same energy. That means every thought that you have, every thought that you're going to process in your mind, that means it's all about love. And from those thoughts that you process, what you're going to decide from there will all be resonating love. And same as taking action on them. If you're going to take action, make sure that you're going to take action because the foundation is love. And then do it over and over consistently and never stop. And then before you know it, you're going to easily manifest it. And remember, why is it going to be that process? Because remember, I will always refer this. I will always refer this as a case if you're playing a game of archery. This is really a very good reference when we talk about archery. And let's say this is the first time that you will be doing archery, and without beginner's luck. Now, if you're taught on how to fix your stance, maybe, or how to fix the bow and arrow and then pull it like that, And once you do, and during the time that you're going to release the arrow, remember the goal of archery is to hit the bullseye. And maybe at your first attempt, and you were not able to hit the bullseye, if you don't apply any change, let's say you didn't even change your aim, improve your aim, or maybe your stance, or maybe simply how your stance would come into play as you pull that arrow, I'm telling you, you are bound to get the same thing, the same results. But if you would want change to happen and then apply change in it and then try it over and over until finally practice makes perfect, and then you will fully manifest that. That same goes in anything and everything that we would need and want to manifest. May it be for love, for abundance and prosperity, or for peace of mind, anything that we would literally want to achieve, those are the same formulas that we can all apply. And when we consistently apply that, and then of course expect that there will be some changes, and it will all be about positive shifts. I really love how this participant really did apply some change. And you know what? It really takes a lot of mindfulness. And when I say mindfulness, it is also not a guarantee that this is something that will change overnight. There are, of course, some success stories. That there may be some people who will adapt to change easily, and they just don't adapt to change easily. Even the law of cause and effect may have a very quick turn when it comes to that. And that's honestly very possible as well, but not always. So do know as you go through these changes, you're always going to be subjected to the universal law of not just cause and effect, but you will also feel along the way the push and pull. It really is part of the process. There will be good days, but there will also be days wherein all you need to do is to keep trusting everything and to still, no matter how situations will unfold, how life unfolds, is to stay true to your goal. If the manifestation is about love, and then no matter what situations are in front of us, we are always going to honor love. That's what we need to focus on. Now, for now, we're going to check the energies of our participants. So, let's see. Okay, so let's see for our current participant. Okay. Okay. We have a we have a very good warning here. Okay. So this is the 7 of swords. This is the 7 of swords for our this is the 7 of swords for our current participant. And you know what? As you can see here, this is a depiction of a person holding. How many swords are there? There are 5 swords that the person is holding. But remember, as you can see here, there is a handle on the sword, but the person is not holding the sword by the handle. The person is handing the sword by the blade. And literally, if you're going to imagine this, literally, if you're the ones holding the sword and you are holding on the actual blade, of course, it may inflict pain. Okay. I'm sure I'm sure it will be very painful. Now, what is the depiction of this energetically? So there are, again, as this is going to be a process, and you know how it is, some oftentimes when before I even draw cards, the explanation itself will already be the same, and this is the same reflection of what I mentioned earlier. So that means as you are still applying this change and the continuous mindfulness that you apply in this change, of course, every day as you apply these changes, the push and pull will always be there. Of course, the level of comfort is what we're really trying to achieve here. Not everybody who would apply change in their life would necessarily say that, hey, I'm very comfortable shifting this, or I'm very comfortable applying some change, or I'm practically okay with everything. Genuinely. And of course, there are still times that when it hits you, you get to realize things that either, oh gosh, you're gonna tell yourself, okay, I'm just gonna bear everything, but I'm not necessarily complaining. But honestly speaking, of course, it's still taking a toll on me. Remember, because again, whenever we're going to apply change, it takes a level of comfort. So my say, do not be afraid to recognize that as you go through these changes, the process may not necessarily be smooth, and that's okay. It's honestly okay. It doesn't hurt to also understand that the process may not necessarily be smooth, and it's not necessarily very favorable on your end because you're the ones experiencing the pain, or you're the ones feeling the situation, and you're the ones adjusting. It's definitely okay. But I'm telling you, as today is Guru Day, Every day, of course, it's a reminder of whatever lessons we are going to learn. But specifically in tonight's session, and as Guru Day is today, I want you to know that right now, I'm telling you that this is not really a bad card. This card is just reminding you of your natural tendencies and your nature as a person, which is, you know what, this is not really bad. This is not really bad to also acknowledge that it's challenging to go through, and you're just being very honest with this, and the cards will always just reflect these energies, and the cards will always just give you the necessary reflection of how the energies are folding for you. But you know what? This card is really saying, as you can also see in this card, there is something here. There is something here in the background that also, when I tried to check the card, instantly gave me another wisdom that continuously apply these changes and be very consistent, you are up for a very good surprise. So that means that we are still in the process of planting those seeds, and as we plant those seeds, remember, literally, if we're talking about planting seeds, it really takes time. It really takes time and effort, and it has to be given in the right condition for us to really grow. Because you have to also remember, if we are planting seeds, remember, it doesn't matter, or it doesn't automatically mean, if you have a seed with you and you want to throw it on soil, it doesn't automatically mean that when you throw seeds there, it will grow naturally or right away. It has to be given the right conditions. And what are the conditions? Remember, it has to be given proper sunlight. It has to be given water. If you have fertilizer, in short, proper care, nourishing, attention, and love will always have to be the right conditions given before everything will grow naturally or to improve and to progress. So that means right now you are still planting those seeds, and your responsibility right now is to keep cultivating it, to keep nourishing it, and to keep being patient as you go through this process. Because again, it's not easy, and every single time, although you are getting your rhythm really well, honestly speaking, you have to always be very mindful of how you honestly feel, because you can never lie to yourself. The least thing you would want to happen is that you're just setting it aside, but you're already starting to feel pain and suffering inside of you because you don't want to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that as you go through these changes, especially if this is really something that's fairly new to you, or this is really a new change that you're willing to embrace, remember, it's a process, and it's not bad of a reflection if right now the cards are telling you that, yep, it is a challenge. And so embrace it fully, because that is a very good motivation for you to really not just see where you are standing right now, but to also know how much more patience you can give, how much more love you will give, how much more effort will you exert so that you can get a more favorable result in the future. And this is really just the cards being very, very honest with you. But I'm telling you, the cards are also honest to tell you that this is going to be very fruitful soon. So, in short, this is really good news. This is good news for you. Continue what you're doing and even more. And you know yourself, you also know your partner. Remember that it always takes two to tango. So remember, you may be doing something good, but remember that this is not solely your own responsibility. I want you to also know, as you are trying to adapt to these changes, it also does not hurt to also share the process that you're going through. Verbalize it, and to be let it known to your partner, because we want to make sure that also, syempre, we would also want the same thing, to receive the same thing, to also experience the same thing. Because the least thing you would want to happen is for you to feel like you're the only ones exerting effort. You're the only ones willing to change. You're the only ones who's willing to give your fair share. And remember, this is a relationship. No matter which efforts you're gonna be exerting, equally, both of you need to exert equal efforts as well. For both, because remember, this is a relationship. This is a team that you're working with. So, my say, you are already doing well. Continuously provide that. And I just want you to know that as you go through these changes, through it all, these changes, mostly, it's really for you. You're the ones who will really benefit from this in the end. And I'm very, very excited for you, because you are really someone who's very passionate with this. So, keep doing what you're doing best, and provide even more in the future so that you can manifest this even more. Also, do not forget to do charity work every Friday if you would want to manifest this for love. Anything that if and this same goes for anyone, any listener out there who is really wanting to manifest a love. I want you to do a charity work every Friday. Do a charity work on a Friday, and before you offer this charity work, say a little prayer or set your intentions that this I'm willing to let go of this energy. And again, this is not just limited to monetary. This is not limited to just money. This is not limited to just goods. This can be practically anything and everything that resonates love. You can offer a smile, offer love, offer your service, offer your help, offer your energy, offer your time. Anything that you can offer a part of your energy, and you're going to share it to honor what you would want to manifest, and you do it willingly. That is one good way to manifest this, to add more energy of manifestation, and to be consistent in doing this charity work every Friday. And again, this is solely for if you're wanting to manifest love. Later on, for some of you who may be wanting to manifest something and you wanted to know what kind of charity work you would need to engage with, type in the comment section and I will also answer that. Okay, so go ahead if you have any questions about what you would want to manifest and the particular charity work that you need to do on a particular day. Type in your comments in the comment section, and I'll discuss that later on. So finally, I would want to remind everybody what is the reason why we need to set our intentions when we do our charity work. Because look at it this way, in the concept again of archery, look at it this way: if you do not set an intention before you do your charity work, of course it's gonna happen. It will be allotted in any form of karma that needs to be credited on that. So that means you're just not sure where you're going to apply the karma. So it's like shooting an arrow in the dark in all hopes that somehow, some way, it will hit something. But if you set the intention specifically, at least it's targeted. The more specific your intentions are, and then you do the charity work, trust that it's going to be directed exactly to that manifestation. Also, if you do it consistently, literally, you know how they say in terms of raffle, the more entries you send, the more chances of winning literally is the key. So the more you become consistent, the more you will manifest it. Okay, so for now, thanks for joining Tarot Thursdays. Munti ka na. Okay, so my name is Marky Mendoza again. Welcome everybody to Tarot Thursdays English edition. I'm so later on, please send me healing as well because I feel like I will be anemic. I'm just kidding. So here in Tarot Thursdays, we provide free tarot reading for everybody. So if you have any questions about love, career, and your health, please send them over. Free. It's all free. If you want to ask anything, all you need to do is just follow the guidelines. The guidelines are already posted in our comment section. And let's go ahead and entertain our next question. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Ooh, our next participant is definitely a regular here. Okay. So, hello, master. Okay. So I'm gonna translate the questions in English as well. Grabe, kape muna tayo, guys. So, okay. Oh, hold on. Good evening. Oh, Damien. Hello. Thanks for dropping by. I know you're an avid listener, so thank you so much. But of course, if you would want to participate, go ahead, and the guidelines are here in the comment section. Just read the guidelines and follow the instructions, and then I'll be happy to answer your question. Okay. So, hello, master. I'm gonna ask if the next participant is asking about health. Okay, so every time that the participant will be asking about health, what I do as an energy healer is I check the aura of our participant. And by the way, I'm also gonna, since the question is about health, let me also offer healing to those who are asking about health. I'm gonna offer that. I'm gonna offer to send Reiki because I'm a Reiki master and teacher. So I'm an energy healer, and I would love to send healing for everybody who may be needing it. So if you are experiencing, although this is not literally limited, if you're experiencing any type of illness or any manifestation of pain that you may have in your body, it's not limited to that. For those who would want to experience Reiki anyone who is wanting to experience Reiki right now, let me send healing to everybody. In Reiki, there is the term called distance healing. No matter where you are, no matter either you're here in the Philippines as well, or you may be in a different country, that's okay. If I send you Reiki, you will receive it real time. Okay, real time, no matter where you are. I just need to give the instructions for everybody so that you would also see the difference between before and after I send through the healing energy. So for those out there, what are the instructions if you would want to receive healing? By the way, if you want to receive healing, just type in here in the comment section and I'll send you. But let me give the instructions first after coffee because I'm nose blooding. Okay, so here we go. By the way, if you would want to experience Reiki, all you need to do is check your wrists. Okay. Now remember, when you look in your wrists, you will see some lines here at the bottom of your wrist. Now, the first instruction is I want you to check which one is the most prominent. I want you to check which one is the most prominent line on both wrists. And after determining the most prominent lines on your wrist, I want you to align them perfectly side by side. Okay. Now, when you align these two lines together, you should see one straight line when you connect both your wrists. That's the key. So, first, determine which of the lines on your wrists are the most prominent ones. Second is align them perfectly side by side like this. Okay. And once it's already perfectly aligned, remember it has to be perfectly aligned. Once it's perfectly aligned sideways like this, next is to align your hands like this. Now be mindful what you should see on your pinkies. It should be perfectly aligned like this. And also the middle line on your palms should also create a straight line. In any given point that when you do this procedure, and then the first thing that you see here, the line on your palms here are not aligned. Nagiging slang na ako. Ayan na. So, yung kape na yan, grabe. Nagkaka-magic yung kape, no? Okay. So once your palms here are already aligned, next is to check your pinkies. Ideally, your pinkies should be perfectly aligned, but any given situation that they don't align, either the lines here or the pinkies, or maybe both are not aligned, that represents that there's bad energy in your body. That if we don't remove, if we don't send you healing, we don't send, and you know what? You'll be surprised that this is really not something that you will recognize right away, or you won't feel. You won't feel, but that's the reason why you have to keep checking your wrists, because sometimes what happens is that is really, look at it this way, it's like you are cultivating like a form of virus that has what's that term again, uh like the nesting period of that. If it's like the nesting period, it will just wait a little more before it fully manifests. Okay, the least thing you would want to happen if we don't get to remove all of the bad energy in the body, it's basically your aura, then it will manifest into an illness. We don't want that. So as much as possible, by the way, this is really something. It doesn't also mean that we send you healing right now that it's going to be consistent every single time. It is something that is subject to change. Especially, you can literally check your mood. If somehow you are not expecting any mood swings, but out of nowhere you start feeling a little off, or you started feeling a little agitated, even if there's no practical reason at all, that is one telltale sign. What I want you to do every single time that you feel that is to keep checking your wrists every time. And if you see them not aligned, just go ahead and message me and I'll take care of that for you. But also, if you want to learn this on your own, I teach this. I teach this on. Oh, by the way, I have a Reiki class this weekend. If some of you are interested to join and to learn this, because this is something that you can learn. The gift of healing is something that can be passed. And that happens in our Reiki class. If you're interested, or if you want to know more about our Reiki class, you can send me a DM and I'll provide you with the necessary details. Any question that you may have about Reiki, I'll be happy to answer. Or you may also look at the very first episode here in our YouTube channel if you want to see how Reiki works, and then check out our first episode here. That video is really dedicated to explain what Reiki is about and the benefits and how you will also learn it. So, that being said, let me check the energy of our current participant. Okay. Okay, so here are the things that, by the way, our body, The first thing that you should know about our body is that every single time that you have manifestations of pain or an illness, or if a part of your body is experiencing um, an illness, it's directed to a specific body part. Let's say your chest area, or the stomach, or your knees, or the shoulders. If it's specific on a body part, what you should know is that our body is actually a directory of lessons that we all need to learn. Now, every single time that our body is teaching us a lesson, or a lesson is needing to be in the surface, it will start manifesting through body pains. That's the first telltale sign. It would start with body pain. And then, of course, if we start feeling the pain in our body parts, our next responsibility is, of course, to learn. Learn the lesson accordingly. However, we don't know what the body speaks of. The literal body language. We literally don't know what our body speaks of. Now, only if we know what each body parts represent, if they start to feel pain or manifest pain or an illness, then it will be more directed. At least we know how to address them, only if we know what our body is talking about. Now, for our participant, okay, now I'm feeling there is pain here in the right shoulder. The right shoulder. Now, before I continue, our body is divided into two parts. Our right side is the sacred masculine side, and this is the positively charged side of our body. Our left side, anything that manifests on the left side, this is our sacred feminine energy, or the negatively charged energy of our body. Remember, just like a battery. Remember, our battery has two parts, the positive and the negatively charged. This is the same for our body as well. That means any form of pain, manifestation of pain or illness that manifested on our right side, it is um, attributed by a male person in our life. Anything that manifests on our left side is attributed or contributed by a female person in our life. Now, every single time that our shoulders will get manifestations of pain, though these are in a form of muscle pain. So these are the times that you'd feel like you want to go have a trip to the spa and have a very good massage in a session, which is actually something that will feel very much relieved right after, of course. But you'll notice that it shall always come back after some time. Why? Because again, the go to is for us to really recognize and work on these lessons for us to naturally heal. You'll be surprised that when we're able to learn the lessons naturally, our body will have the capacity to heal with or without Reiki. That's how amazing our body is. Only that we just don't know where to start, or we don't know what it speaks of. But good thing Reiki with Marky is here. Let me allow um these wisdom to be out there, so that you'd also get to know your body on a deeper level. Of course, if you would want to also master this, I teach this in a Reiki class. Okay, if you're interested, again, send me a DM. I'll tell you about this Saturday's class. So by the way, I'm seeing the right shoulder. So this, every time that the shoulders are in pain or feeling pain, this is a representation of responsibilities. So that means if it's appearing on the right side, this is a responsibility towards a male person in our life that we feel very responsible for, or we feel like a part of you would always want to, either we feel very responsible for, or we also take responsibility for. So male person in our life, lower okay, the body still needs to heal. And I think you know what I mean. Okay, the body still needs to recover. You may feel like you've given it a lot of rest, but in actual reality, the body is still needing to heal. You still need more time. You still need more time to focus on rest and recovery. That means we are referring to 7 to 8 hours of sleep in a day. If we're not able to complete that, of course, the body will just keep telling us. That's why the lower back. I'm also for your Okay, now my energy is now directing me to the stomach area. The stomach area is a very complex area, because not just that the stomach area houses all major organs that we have. The kidneys, the liver, it's all there. The intestines are there. And the focus of our stomach area are two things. One, relationships. Number two, our creativity. In this case, both are needing balance. Okay, both are needing balance in the relationships and the creativity. Because mostly right now, it's mostly focused on the creativity side because this is needed in the career that you have. You are needed to always think out of the box, to be very creative. And people draw energy from you. But most of your energies are drawn towards that, less on the relationships. So I'm now directed to your stomach area. Uh, Let me see. Mm. Now my Now I'm being directed to your left knee. Now, one good thing about our knees is that our knees is actually a representation of our parents. Our right knee is a representation of our father, and our left knee is a representation of our mother. And that means if you are feeling, or if at least my energy is directed to your left knee, that means I am now directed about your relationship with your mother. So, what are the things that we should be mindful about if, in terms of our niece and the mothers? Okay, there are several things to consider. Whenever my energy is directed to the knees, no matter if it's the left or the right, this is how, when you touch on the experiences, in this case with your mom, when you touch on the past experiences, or at least your memories towards the mom, and if it's not 100% smooth sailing, that includes also worries. You may be worrying about their health. Or you know what, instantly, if you start to feel pain in your knees, and you feel like you have a very good relationship, or at least if you're able to rise above no matter which lessons you need to learn from your parents, and you're able to rise above that, and you honestly feel like you already have a very good relationship with your parents, and then your knees started to feel pain, my say is to go check your parents. Ask them how they are. Ask them about their health. They may be complaining something. Okay. And in this case, I am seeing that the left knee is where I'm directed to, and that means I also highly suggest to check on your mom and ask how she's doing right now. And this is to also make sure that she is in perfect health condition. Because again, if ever they'll be needing healing, just in case, let me know. I can help you with that. And so, if there's anything, is there anything? Mm, our throat. Our throat is mostly exhausted. Now, every single time that um, my energy is being directed on the throat area, that means can be two things. What are the things that you are verbalizing recently? And or what are the things you're not verbalizing? If you're overly verbalizing it, and if you are not filtering, or if you are not someone who learns how to pause, you just blurt out everything and anything. And if we are not starting to become mindful of what we say as well and how we say it, that can take a toll on our throat. Also, if you overly use your throat or your voice, most especially if you're working, like in the line of work that I have, of course, and also during my live sessions, or when I read for my clients, or when I read for people, or when I have a class or a workshop, of course, my voice is what I'm using, or my throat chakra is what I mostly use. If you keep using it and you're not able to rest, if you're not going to balance the energies by resting, by recovering, or providing the necessary needs for your throat, of course, it can take a toll again. Another if is when you're needed to verbalize something, but you chose to keep mum about it. That's another case. And this time, for your case, let me see. It's both. One, being mindful of what you say, and number two, it's overusing. So, for us to care for that, of course, rest is the most important thing to do, and make sure that we become very mindful with what we say and how we utilize our throat chakra. It really makes a difference. Other than that, there are no possible warnings that I'm seeing. Anything that you should be mindful about, that anything that's urgent, anything that's on an emergency level, may I say na okay naman na. Tsaka teka nga, I wanna know if nandyan pa si ano, si Cinderella. Kasi medyo dumudugo na yung ilong ko. Kasi kung wala na si Cinderella, no, parang ano na, dumudugo na po yung ilong ko, guys. Baka ano, baka joke lang, joke lang. Yun. So my say again, just follow through your mom. I wanna check on your mom as well. Oh, Yam. Okay, thank you, Yam, for being here. Of course, go ahead if you need healings again. And I want you to check first. For those who need healing, I want you to check yung risk ninyo. Check nyo na yung kung pantay. And kung hindi. And then, kung na-check mo na yan, kung na-check mo na hindi pantay, let me know in the comment section. Okay? But for now, thanks for joining Tarot Thursdays. Okay? So, good evening ulit, everybody. I feel like, nandiyan pa ba si Cinderella? Kasi kung wala, pwede katagalog na lang ako. Andiyan ba ba? Do you offer personal Reiki healing? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And for Damien, kung gusto mo naman ng healing right now, I can do that for you. Paki-check mo lang. Hindi pantay. Okay, so good thing na na-mention na ni Damien. So Damien, what I'm gonna do, since nakita mo na hindi pantay, I'm gonna send healing for you. Okay? Let me just do it real quick. And then our goal here, once I give you the go signal, is to check it again. I want you to start the procedure all over. And then this time, the goal is magpantay. Okay? So tingnan natin. Okay. So Damien, I already sent you healing. Can you please check again? Start from scratch and then paki-check mo nga kung nagpantay na. Again, yung goal natin is magpantay yan. Okay? So, next na tayo. If you would want to participate, na nakalagay sa comment section natin, pin post yung ating instructions on how to participate. Libre lang magtanong, akong bahala sa inyo. So, tignan na natin para marami tayong masagot for tonight. Tignan na natin yung Tignan na natin yung next participant natin. Okay. Okay. Yun. Okay, we have a new participant. I'm so happy may bago naman tayong participant for tonight. Okay. So, okay. Love life yung tanong. Okay. Ay, teka lang, sandali. Okay, love life. Okay. So by the way, teka nga. Teka. Okay. So by the way, I'm so happy na very specific yung ating question here. So for any of you na ang tanong naman is love life, please indicate lang din if you're a relationship or hindi para mas specific yung makuha nating energy. Kasi you know what, sometimes, I've read for someone sometimes and then may nakita lang akong lingering energy. So I assumed that the lingering energy that I was seeing is nandun pa yung current, yung pala, wala na sila. Okay? Pero naramdaman ko lang yung energy right there. So para mas maging accurate yung natin, just please indicate if you're in a relationship or hindi para mas specific yung natin. In this case, naka-specify naman. So I'm very good. Gumawa ng assignment. Okay. So what is in store for me on my love life for the next 3 months? Currently in a relationship with someone. We've been together for almost 3 years now. I'm having doubts if he is the one for me. He is kind, intelligent, hardworking, a good person in general, but I'm not 100% sure of him. Problem is, I am afraid of both of hurting him and afraid of regretting letting someone good go. Okay. I want to say hi. I want to have a special shout out muna for to my fellow Reiki master all the way from California, USA. Hello, Master Cathy. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay. Okay, sige. So, anong tawag dito? Ay, napakaganda na. You're up for a very sweet treat. Anong tawag dito? But before anything else, para dito sa current natin na para sa current na natin, na participant. Ay, teka lang si Damien. Damien, by the way, nakita mo na ba yung check mo na uli yung hands mo, Damien, and let me know kung nagpantay na, ha? Okay, so, by the way, first and foremost, this is what I'm going to share. So, mag-dear Marky muna tayo when it comes to this particular na natin na it did ay, very good. I'm so happy. Okay na, nagpantay na. Sorry, got so shy. Sobrang na-shock ka, tapos naging speechless ka na, ganun. Okay lang yan. Ako lang to. Huwag kang magulat, okay? Ganyan talaga ang Reiki. It really amazes me. Kahit na I've been using Reiki for more than 5 years now, and every day it still amazes me. So I'm happy na nag-align na siya, na maskaram. So, alam mo na, if you're interested, you can join. Tuturo ko sa'yo yan. Imagine you doing this yourself. It's really amazing. Okay, going back. By the way, let me also share. I know dun sa na-pick up ko dun sa dun sa question mo, you are in a relationship for 3 years. Although he's a good man, and although you are just doubting if you guys are meant for each other. Now I want you to know specifically if you would want to know if the person is really the one for you, pwede naman natin makita yan eh. You know why? Because there is, aside from tarot reading, we also offer, tsaka yung friend mo na nag-refer sa'yo to, alam din tong sinasabi ko. Alam din tong nag-refer sa'yo yung sinasabi kong type of reading. This is called Vedic astrology. And Vedic astrology is not like your typical na Western astrology, in which yung what we commonly know as our horoscope, hindi siya doon. Because the Babylonians, or at least Western astrology, was miscalculated. The stars were miscalculated by 22 degrees. And this is also the same reason kung bakit hindi ako ganun ka-interested in astrology before, because you know how it is when we talk about these zodiacs. Ang magiging basis natin is that merong on a specific zodiac, there will be a list of 10 things referring sa personality. Kung gantong zodiac, these are the types, these are the personalities. I was born, I mean, I grew up thinking na yung sign ko talaga is Aquarius. Pero pag chinecheck ko naman yung Aquarius, hindi masyadong nagmamatch. Siguro kung may mga 10 bagay, mga 2 lang yung nagmamatch. And for me, how can I resonate on something if it doesn't really make sense for me? So, hindi ako nahilig sa kanya. But then again, kaya naman pala. Because the Babylonians miscalculated the stars by 22 degrees. In Western astrology, my sign is Aquarius. Pero yung totoong sign ko talaga, which is the ascendant sign, is Aries. Anything that is, anong tawag dito? Imagine, from a January na sign, napunta ako sa pang-April. Ganon kalayo yung difference. And when I started checking all the traits of Aries, lahat pasok. And I was like, oh gosh, this is really me. And then, I want you to know that bakit magkaiba? Because your real sign, by the way, if you also would want to consider this, the only thing that's most important to provide is the exact time of birth. Why the exact time of birth? Because at the exact time of birth, in Hinduism, it is believed that the baby rather, while inside the mother's womb, wala pa siyang soul. But once the mother gives birth dun sa baby, and at the first gasp of air, di ba pang baby hindi naman umiiyak agad yan because sa loob ng womb, hindi naman sila humihinga eh. But the moment that they started breathing, tapos yung buwelo, yung gaganon lang muna. At yung buwelo ng baby bago siya umiyak, yung then saka siya iiyak. And hindi ako iiyak, okay? Hindi ko i-demo yung uha-uha. No, the moment that it happened, yung first gasp of air, that is the time that the soul comes in or enters the body. Now, when it does, at the first gasp of air, whatever constellation is rising in the east is your actual sign. It's the actual zodiac that you'll follow. And remember, why exact time of birth? Because the constellations will move every 2 hours. Kaya kailangan, pinaka-important is the exact time of birth. Now, once we get that, you are going to be presented with your life map. And that means anything in the past, present, and even future will be provided. The career will be provided. There are certain, mapapansin mo, there are people na isang try lang, isang career lang. Either they do a business, they engage in a business right away, or they may be in a corporate setting, pero kita mo sunod-sunod, talaga nagpo-progress, na-promote, yung ganyan. Or may makikita ka namang tao na papalit-palit ng mga ginagawa, but still, they can seem to find what is best for them. That is because lahat tayo, according to the planets that we represent, or the ruling planet that we truly represent, meron niyang certain vibration na pasok sa atin when it comes to our career. So, for us to know that, and also if you're interested to know kung what type of businesses yung magpapatok sa'yo, yun, ipiprovide din yun, according to your vibration and your frequency as well. Now, another thing is that there is a particular house there that also assures that's where the soulmate is. Ipoprovide sa'yo yung soulmate. So, yung with that house, ipoprovide sa'yo yung specific na personality ng tao. And from there, you will have an idea You will have an idea kung siya na yun if you feel like. Now, that is the very first, if you would want to know that specifically, to give you that peace of mind. But let me tell you another. Vedic astrology is one, pero learning a lesson is another. Because you may be aware if you are meant for each other or hindi, but it doesn't stop there. Honestly, it doesn't stop there. You already mentioned that you're together for 3 years. Now, in those 3 years, I know you've experienced, both of you experienced the ups and downs. That's honestly part of it. Now, if you're thinking if the person is the one o hindi, my question is, what is your specific consideration for you to say that the person's not the one or ganun? I'm pretty sure may basis ka. I'm pretty sure may basis ka. But if, may say, if ang pinaka magiging basis mo is how the person is, halimbawa, there's a personality, there's a trait that you love so much about the person, but there are also some traits na hindi mo masyadong gusto. And then you would want to change that. I'm telling you, you can never change a person. You can never change a person of who they are. The way they process things, the way they process their emotions, the way they decide on things. I'm telling you, hindi mo siya mababago. They are who they are, exactly just like how you are, made perfectly unique the way you are. We may initially think that it is driven, yung parang nature versus nurture, but I'm telling you, we naka-program na talaga in our system how we are going to be, how we are, how we were, and how we're going to be. Again, past, present, and future, because that is according to how, literally in Vedic astrology, you're going to be presented with how it's like a screenshot of how the skies aligned during the time that you were born, and they all have a factor on how you're going to have your life. Why? If you're also thinking if that will make sense, remember how the moon has a direct effect on our tides, because the moon, ang impact niya sa water. And remember, we are what? 75% water. So yes, there is also a direct effect on us as human beings. The moon does have that. And it's not just the moon. It's all of the celestial bodies, outer space. Hanggang Saturn lang. Honestly, hanggang Saturn lang. Why? Because any planet farther than Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, they don't have a gravitational effect towards the Earth anymore. Ang pinaka may gravitational effect na lang sa atin is only the planet Saturn. Yun na yung pinakahuli. The rest, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, hindi na siya, wala na siyang direct gravitational effect towards the Earth. And so that means hindi na natin masyadong mako-consider them. Also during the time, by the way, ano ba yung difference, bakit the Babylonians miscalculated it? Because the Babylonians, when they were coming up with Western astrology, they used little equipment. They created little na equipment, unlike the Egyptians who made the pyramids. You'll be surprised that the pyramids are really for studying the celestial bodies. The Mayans made the Mayan calendar, and you know how huge the Mayan calendar is. Hindus did huge sundials as well. So and also, Vedic astrology is, by the way, very ancient, more than 10,000 years of ancient knowledge. Honestly, no one can even backdate. In Hinduism, there is not even a known na founder of what, because it's really that ancient. And imagine if you also cross-reference how the Hindus have calculated the stars, and if you cross-reference it to how NASA has this modern technology, they are only a few minutes apart. And that's how amazing Hinduism is, especially the Vedas or the in Vedic astrology. So, my say, dun sa going back, by the way, dun sa topic natin, whether it's going to be the personality of the person or some things that you notice, there are good parts, there are not so good parts. I'm telling you, that is part of loving. That is also the part that you're going to be working towards when you are wanting to consider not just this person but anybody else that you are wanting to love, because you know what, equally the same thing, they do the same thing to you. There are things that may necessarily feel proud of and love about you, but not all of it. And that same goes for everybody, because we're not perfect, because we are all capable of that. We can have a very nice good nature, and also the opposite. It also is very natural for us. Then what makes me say this? If you are someone who can perceive or who can understand doing bad things, even as simple as lying, If you can perceive that, if you can also do that, or if you've done that before, you're capable of that. And that is, in the spectrum of good versus evil, nandun siya sa kabila. So in short, there is you cannot say that 100% that there is nothing that possibly the other party may dislike about you. Okay, equally, if you have these thoughts towards a partner, meron din yan sa and it goes both hand in hand. But the thing is, when we look at it this way, our first responsibility is not just to cherry pick the ones that we like and then titiisin natin the rest. Remember, when we are loving someone, we are loving the wholeness of person. The wholeness, kung ano man siya, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as you go through this 3 years of your time, I'm pretty sure there are things that are very unsettling. The things na talagang hindi mo masyadong kumbaga it now is in the concept of non-negotiables. Nasa category na siya na non-negotiables for you, and you somehow got to see that in this person. And now if that is going to be the weight that you're going to check every single time, are you focusing on the right things? My say, do not be biased when it comes to checking these. When you check these, check the wholeness of the person. Are there things that you may not necessarily like? Write it down. But my say, are there also good things that you like about this person? Write it down. Compare it side by side and then take it from there. Because if you're only going to base it or to judge one person's experience just because of one thing, look at it this way. What will you feel if other people, not necessarily your partner, will do the same thing for you? And honestly, we go through this every single time na experience natin yan. Bashing is really something that we get to experience every time. The criticism of other people, or at least when people try to judge us, they may see one thing, but is it yes, it can be something, but it's not everything. Would you want to also be treated the same way? This is really an eye opening experience, because you know what? It's not a question of how good or bad the person is. This is also a question of how you fully love the person, no matter what you see is in front of you. What is the message here? Are we really going to love the person wholly? Or are we really here to be just selective of everything? Because you know what? Let me tell you this honestly. One way or another, should you want to end this and you feel like this is not really going to work for you, if you wish to still, and if the goal is to find somebody, eventually you're going to have to go through these same steps. Eventually, you're also going to have to go through the same weighing of things. What if since sa susunod na yan, baka sabihin mo, you'll end up with just regrets. Okay, and this is really being realistic as well. This is really a call na when it comes to loving someone, even if, especially for us gay people, and then in a country wherein marriage is not something that is legalized. Of course, it doesn't mean that you are in a relationship, in a gay relationship. It doesn't mean that we are not looking for that lifetime partnership, or we are not looking for to experience that long and lasting love. Of course we do. The only difference is, here in the Philippines, we cannot have that privilege of literally celebrating it legally. Again, just legally. We don't have the privilege of celebrating it legally. But again, in the eyes of God, it really doesn't matter, because if that's the only thing that you're looking for, that piece of paper, you can literally love someone without that piece of paper, honestly, and without the legalities. If you really love the person, and then there is no hindrance of the legalities, there is no hindrance of just being in the eyes of the many and being acknowledged in the eyes of many, it should go far beyond that. And what really matters is how you see each other. But that's the goal, to see each other, to see each other eye to eye, no matter how both reflect the good, the bad, and the ugly. Both have the goal to embrace each other's kindness, goodness, and the not so good one. My say, as you go through this process, it's okay for you to be realistic, how the person is, what you love about the person, and what you not so love about the person. I also want you to be fair with the other party as well. Why don't you do the same thing on you? And the only thing that can really allow you to really see through everything is when you become very honest with yourself. List down the things that you like about yourself. Also list down the things that you are not so proud of yourself. I want to say hi to my fellow Reiki master, also my partner here in YouTube, Master Pau, English session. Alam mo kanina pa English session, alam mo kung bakit. Meron tayong isang viewer kanina who doesn't speak Tagalog. So I have to say, medyo mahaba po. Buti na lang I'm checking kung nandiyan pa siya kanina eh. Medyo ano na. So, medyo nose blood tayo. Pakihil mo na lang ako mamaya, master, dahil medyo nalo-low blood na ako sa kaka-English. Joke lang, joke lang. Okay, so going back. So my say again, para dun sa, to be fair, when I know that you're processing these things, when you are weighing things out, my only suggestion is to always see through everything fairly, not just on the other side. You also have to check yourself. What are the things that you love about yourself? And what you also know is, like, maybe if your attention is always being called, na parang lagi ka napupunan na, please do this, please change this, please, I'm sure meron. I'm sure meron. Then again, you know yourself clearly. You have to be very fair in this process. Because again, the least thing you would want if you miss this out, pag hindi natin napansin din yung sarili natin, if we are also not mindful of who we are as a person, most especially as a lover, kung if in the end, ang gusto mo is to really call it quits and to just find another love, I'm telling you, who you are, hindi mo na rin mababago. So what if the other person will not get to accept you? And then how would you feel? So again, this is really a call for us to really be mindful of who we are and to also embrace who we are. Hindi lang natin sasabihin na parang, okay, these are the good things about me, these are the not so good things. Okay lang, I'll hate myself. Hindi ganun. Our responsibility is to also, once we become very truthful sa sarili natin, we have to really embrace who we truly are and to love ourselves no matter what. Because kung hindi natin mabibigay yan sa sarili natin, we can never expect for the people we love to give the same. So, even without getting the cards for that, anong tawag dito? Let us start there, because I don't want naman din, the least thing I would want to provide you in a form of guidance is that pag may lumabas dun sa card natin na either favorable o hindi, that will be your sole parang basis to make a decision. I hope hindi. I hope hindi. So my say, I will refrain from getting cards from you, and let's instead just become very mindful. Become very mindful of how you both are. If it really helps for you to write this down, write the pros and cons for both of you, and to really see how you get to develop the love in this. Because I'm pretty sure these things, since you've been together for 3 years, I'm pretty sure ang dami nyo na nakita. Ang dami mo na na-experience. And that's why you're processing this. But I'm telling you, that is part of embracing each other's love. And of course, hindi ka lang titingin sa kanya. Paano mo ipapa-embrace yung pagmamahal mo yung pagmamahal niya sa'yo kung ikaw hindi mo rin naiintindihan yung sarili mo? Kung ikaw hindi mo na-appreciate yung sa sarili mo? If there are things about you that you don't necessarily like, then how will the other people around you like it as well if you don't embrace that? Okay? So, my say, there's really a lot of work to do. There's really a lot of time to realize and process things. Do not be in the rush. I want you to know this is also a major decision that you're going to make anyway, because through it all, no matter how this will end, you're still gonna process this as emotionally anyway. What would you want to experience and what would you want to process? Are you just willing to keep processing and what do you call this, processing pain and suffering only to recover from it, or would you want to learn from it and for this to not hinder you in embracing love in the future? Thanks for joining Tarot Thursdays. My name is Marky Mendoza, and I'm a Reiki master and teacher, also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher, and welcome to Tarot Thursdays. So here in Tarot Thursdays, libre ang magtanong. If you have any questions about love, health, and career, go ahead and send them over. Nakalagay sa pin post natin yung ating guidelines and instructions on how to participate. So, sumagot na tayo. By the way, Master, paki-check mo nga yung audio natin. Bumili na rin ako ng boya na bagay dun sa laptop. So, kaya medyo kalmado ang natin. Hindi tayo kailangan nag-exert ng masyadong effort. Okay? So, okay bang voice quality natin? Boya yan. Boya by M1. Di ba? Kasi pasok na siya dun sa so mas mura. Okay. Okay. So, next na tayo. Okay. Yan. Oh my gosh. Yung next participant natin is new here. So maraming salamat. Beautiful message, Sir Marky. Can relate. Can you also please share your tip in manifesting finance? Oh, yes, anak. Tip in manifesting financial abundance, and please and thank you. Aba, okay, sige, I'll give a tip for that. Unahin ko lang tong ating next participant. So, ito na yung next participant natin. Okay. Okay. Teka. In this next participant kasi, let me see if this is a case of overstepping. Kasi nga, okay. So, how Eric feels about my text and voicemails, I told him I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna, teka lang ha, I'm gonna tell him squatting in his apartment if he don't apologize to me. He tried to play me. Okay. So tignan natin kasi medyo overstepping yung question because yung sagot hahanapin ko sa energy nung ibang tao. So this is gonna be a case of overstepping. But let me see how we can tweak this question na wala namang karma on my end. Ang dami ko nang pinaprocess na karma, guys. Okay. So tignan natin how if we can reposition this differently. Teka. Uh, Okay, I know how to reposition the question because the underlying situation here is about teka. So parang if the goal is parang you would want in the end mag-apologize sa sayo. Parang ganun. Because in the end, sabi mo, I'm gonna tell him, he's squatting in his apartment and if, squatting in his apartment if he don't nahirapan ako i-translate, sorry na. But squatting in his apartment if he don't apologize. So you would want for this person to apologize, short of saying. So, tingnan na, we will just reposition it this way. Will you get an apology from this person? Yan, maganda. Will you get an apology from this person? As you can see, in this na, I'm gonna turn the energy outwards towards the person directly concerned. Ibabalik natin siya inward, in which kung sino mismo yun sa nagtatanong, the trick there is you just have to know kung ano yung underlying situation eh. And then to turn it inwards towards dun sa person asking. So in this case, kung ang tanong niya, kung makaka-receive siya ng apology. So yun ang tanong natin, makaka-receive ba ako ng apology sa kanya? Yun. Am I gonna receive an apology from ganyan? Tama na ba yun? Yeah, am I going to receive an apology? Sige, tingnan natin yan. I'm really needing to process the question really well, as you can see. Kasi nga, kapag hindi na-process ng maigi yung question, it will be a case of overstepping. And magkakaroon na ako ng karma. And very digital yun for me. Okay, ang dami ko nang pinaprocess na karma. Okay, tama ba yun? Yes, okay, sige. So, is our current participant going to receive an apology? Sige, doon sa taong concerned. Okay. Okay. So, anong tawag dito? This is the answer. We have 7 of cups. Okay. This one is a very clear na yes, the person will realize it eventually. The person will realize it because also the person okay, this really goes two ways. Dun sa situation itong current participant natin. It always is going to be a case of action reaction. That literally how the universe works. And alam nyo, we may sometimes feel na in cases wherein we are processing experiences towards another person, and especially kung hindi naman siya very favorable. So kung may inaayos tayo, any form of relationships, you know what? It's always gonna be a case of cause and effect. Kumbaga, the action of the other party is somehow attributed to dun sa kung ano na experience niya. So it will trickle down to another form of cause and effect. And continuous yung flow niyan. Cause and effect, cause and effect. I'm telling you, this goes both ways. You may feel that the person may have done you wrong, but also there are things kasi that the person is processing that may not necessarily resonate love between each other. There are basically pros and cons with each other. Only that, syempre, the other person has taken this move. Okay? But you know what? The person values you well. There must be a very huge misunderstanding that has happened between you two, and that's why it has led you to these experiences that you're processing right now. But I'm telling you, maaayos naman yan. Maaayos naman yan. Walang hindi naaayos, lalo na kapag nakikipag-usap tayo ng maayos sa isa't isa. Because you know what? It doesn't really matter anong tawag, what kind of relationship it is. Pero lahat naman na pag-uusapan. Basta we are all loving and respecting each other, walang imposible, sa totoo lang. So may say, this is also a very good opportunity to also exercise humanity and humility, syempre. The more kasi, the more, ano bang goal natin? If the goal is to fix it, then do not inflict more pain. Do not inflict more suffering. If the goal is to fix it, then fix it and stay true to the goal. When we stay true to the goal, mas madaling maayos yan. Because kung ang goal natin is maayos, then don't inflict more pain towards each other. Now, it's a totally different scenario if you wouldn't want to grow the love anymore. And if you want to call it quits, that's a different one. But of course, again, burning bridges is also not highly advisable because, it's a very small world after all. So, my say, mag-usap ng maigi. Make sure that you also honor each other's side and to always honor love and respect with each other, and you can never go wrong with that. I'm telling you, all it takes is maayos na usapan, and then this will definitely be fixed. Thanks for joining Tarot Thursdays. My name is Marky Mendoza. Again, we still have time. Time check, 12 minutes. And by the way, before we continue, sasagutin ko lang muna yung isang tanong ni Damien Hartley here. And for Damien, ang tanong niya is for manifestation ng abundance and prosperity. So Damien, I want you to know, this can be directly answering your question about abundance and prosperity. But then again, this is not limited. The formula that I'm going to share with you is not limited to just manifesting abundance and prosperity. This is anything that you would want as a goal. By the way, love watching all the time, gathering wisdom always, Master. Thank you naman, my fellow Master Kathy. Maraming salamat. And for always tuning in. I know it's still very early there in the US and California, pero yun nga, thank you so much. Okay. So by the way, if the question ni Damien is about manifesting, first things first, and this same goes to everybody who's tuned in right now and asking the same thing, no? Or anything that you would want to manifest as well. Halimbawa, yung pagkakulot ng, gusto mong kumulot yung buhok mo, yung ganyan, tulad niya. Hindi, joke. Joke lang. So, if the goal is, first thing, you have to know what your goal is. So, in this case, abundance and prosperity. So, check na yun. If the goal is abundance and prosperity, I want you to know kung ano yung goal, yun ganong energy din yung ibibigay. Kung ano yung energy ng goal, yun din ang energy na ilalabas mo. Why? Because you cannot plant a lemon na plant a lemon tree or plant seeds ng lemon expecting ang tutubo ay orange. Okay? So kung lemon ang tinanim, lemon din ang aanihin. Okay, kung anong tinanim, siya ring aanihin. So if the goal is to harvest, eventually, you're going to harvest abundance and prosperity. That's the same energy that you're going to process in your thoughts, decisions, and actions. In your thoughts, it's everything about abundance and prosperity. In your decisions, it's always to manifest abundance and prosperity. In your actions, it's always about to manifest abundance and prosperity. That means, what are the ways on how you can manifest abundance and prosperity? To work hard, to find resources, to trust that you have the right amount of resources for you to explore, so that eventually you will drive towards that energy consistently, and then yun yung mamamanifest. So ganun lang siya kasimple. If love ang gustong ma-manifest, okay, then in your thoughts, decisions, and actions, it's all about love, and then you will get that. So in short, kung anong gustong ma-harvest natin, yun din ang seeds na ipaplant natin every day consistently. If it's abundance, and then everything about what we're going to do is about abundance and prosperity, and to do it consistently. And then eventually you will get it. Now remember, manifesting it is one, having it consistently is another. So you have to be, kung gusto mo naman siya ma-manifest consistently, gusto mong tuloy-tuloy na siya, and then you have to be very consistent as well. Okay? So, thank you so much for that, Damien. If you have any questions as well, akong bahala sa inyo, ha? Sige, this is really perfect for one more question. So, tingnan na natin kung sino yung ating magiging participant for tonight. Uy, may bago na naman tayong participant. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so ito yung participant natin. Sabi niya, I want to know if I have any chance to be in the showbiz industry. Wow. Well, anong tawag dito? I know people. Naging talent manager. I know people. Syempre, I'm honestly just fairly new with this kind of ano. Uh, so, tingnan natin. Sige. So, by the way, here's the thing. Let me let me also set this clear. Saktong-sakto yung topic na binigay ko and the guidance na binigay ko for this last participant that we have. Kasi remember, kung anong gustong ma-manifest, we have to know what we would want to manifest. And then lahat ng energy natin will all evolve around that. So kung show business ang gusto nating may manifest, and then if you're really sure about this, first, you have to be sure about it. Number two, you have to be very much dedicated for you to go through a thorough process. Kailangan alam mo din yung pinapasok mo. It's not enough that you have the looks, the talent for you to become. I believe that you do. I believe that you do. But it's not just that. It's not just that. Now that I know, now I've been close friends with Bessie, with Janeline, Dennis Trillo, Diyos ko po. I know what these people go through. I know what these people, when I get to know their experiences and through our personal talks, parang I'm really in so much in awe with how the efforts na kailangan and the sacrifices that they have to make, hindi madali. Okay, so it's not enough that we want to be there. We also have to prepare ourselves. We also have to be willing to go through specific trainings, workshops, and a lot of exposure and a lot of time. We have to invest many things. Okay, but if in the question, syempre, eyes on the prize, we will draw cards for you. We will see the opportunity for that. But of course, your goal is you have to be very sure. This may be in a particular question of show business, but it can be anything. It can be anything in the future that you would want to manifest. Kung anong tinanim siyang aanihin, and be ready for it. Okay? So ganun din yung ano natin, ganun din yung magiging payo natin for you. Sige, pero tingnan natin any case that you have a good shot in making it in show business. Okay. Oh, that's the thing. Saktong-sakto. You have a major card. Honestly, so in short, this in itself is already telling you have a good shot. But you know what? You have the Justice card. But you know what? This card is actually a very meaningful card because you know what? This card, although a major card is here, so medyo sure siya. But you know what? This is a card that also tells you there's a part of you that you're sure, there's also a part of you that's not sure. In short, hindi ka pa din sure if you really want this. Now, my say, again, kaya nga sinabi ko nga kanina, ayun na naman tayo. Nag-uuna yung guidance bago bumunot ng card, and then eventually pareho yung message. The message is clear. It's not enough that you know that you would want to be there, that you would want to experience that kind of life. And you know what? Again, it's not a question if you can make it. Oh, that clearly says you can. But the thing is, are you fully decided? In short, do you really know kung ano yung papasukin natin? Because you really have, if may gusto tayong pasukin, dapat it is also our equal responsibility to also know what it takes, not just to be there, but what are the things that these people do. And I'm telling you, I'm also referring to sleepless nights, a lot of sleepless, tiring nights. Because right now, I'm surprised that you know what, they have lock-in tapings that is going to stretch you 45 days that you're gonna spend time away from home, and that means the loved ones hindi mo pwede. There's quarantine time, there's pressure, there's time pressure during the sets, there are the trainings, the specific scenes that you are needed some emotions, paano kung hindi mo mabigay, and you know the time is ticking every time. There's so much pressure. Now, these are the things that you need to process. Are you willing to go through trainings? Are you willing to go through necessary mga sacrifices in life? Are you okay to not to have as much sleep as you can? Nakakatawa nga eh. Parang, alam mo yun, in this business, I realized, and I learned from them na wala ka masyadong tulog, pero kailangan sobrang ganda mo. And dapat sobrang bait mo pa rin. Sobrang pleasing ka pa din. Imagine, if you are someone who doesn't, you're running on 2 hours of sleep, and you are expected to be the nicest pa din kahit wala ka masyadong sleep. And kung hindi mo ma-picture how you can do that, imagine doing this for a long time. Imagine doing this for 13 years of your life, 16 years, 20 years of your life. And then you are always expected to be the best person that you are without complaining. So these are the things that we need to process as well. Now, may I say this card is telling you that in terms of weighing everything out, the decision is not yet clear. So first, set your decisions clear first. If you want to go for it, if you're willing to go through, but may I say, for you to complete this, syempre, mas strengthen talaga yan kung alam mo na yung papasukin mo. May I say, dig deeper. Ask more about ask more what are the things that that come with this business. Ano yung mga requirements? Ano yung mga sacrifices? Ano yung mga ganyan? Because you know what? Kung ano yung na-share ko sa'yo, it's only the tip of the iceberg. There has to be more than this. And if the more that you're aware, the more na alam mo, and then the more you get to prepare. The more that you get to prepare yourself for yung mga isasabak natin. Because to be honest, I'm hats off sa mga nasa show business, hindi madali. Now that I'm recently exposed to these things, ay baby, salamat. Now that I am recently exposed to these things, now that I know, napakahirap ng ginagawa ng mga taong yan. And I'm very, very much, applauding these mga artistas natin o yung mga celebrities natin. Hindi talaga siya madali. So, may say, I want you to help you in this as well. I want you to list down the pros and cons. I want you to also do your research even more. And from there, if you've gathered enough information, and then decide from there, because right now, hindi ka pa rin fully decided eh. Also consider your studies. Also consider your future plans. These are the things then na you also have to consider. You also have to be very realistic with your own timeline. Kasi I'm telling you, when it comes to timeline, it's also something that you really need to consider. So, maraming tatrabahuhin. If you're really wanting to manifest this, go ahead and start doing your research. Because right now, if the question is, do you have an opportunity? Yes. Yes, definitely you have. Okay? But are you fully decided? Hindi. So may say, do your research, gather as much information as you can, and ask yourself, kaya ko ba to? Or kung hindi ko kaya ko bang kayanin to? Can I train myself to go through this? Is this something that I would want to genuinely embrace? Okay, ask those questions over and over. Just don't decide overnight, because this is a life-changing na experience that I'm pretty sure will change your life forever if you want to give this a shot. But of course, you have to be dedicated. I'm telling you, hindi siya biro. Okay? Thanks for joining Tarot Thursdays. That is it again for our session for tonight. Very meaningful yung session natin tonight. I'm very, very honored. I love how our conversation tonight really circled around many forms of wisdom. Medyo anemic na ako, guys. So dahil kanina pa ako nag-i-English, sorry na. Medyo medyo late na para sa English. Hindi, joke lang. So, again, our sessions for tonight will happen twice in a week. We have Tuesdays and Thursdays for your readings. And every Sunday, please watch out. We are going to provide the weekly tarot reading to prepare our weekly energy. There are specific energies to give us warnings and blessings, syempre. If you haven't watched, ni-release na, kala, anak. yung nirelease namin this Sunday, yung weekly energy for this week, we still have a few more days to go. If you haven't watched it, may warning kasi tayo dyan, no? Remember, the more prepared we are, the more na yung impact na babawasan, especially dun sa mga warnings. And of course, this week is a very good week and I received so many blessings myself. Kaya naman hindi talaga ako bulletproof sa mga ganyan. It does not limit me na kapag may blessing, may warning din this week. So in short, I have to prepare myself even more. But then again, I highly encourage everybody, syempre, naman na even if we're not bulletproof, remember, kapag mas prepared tayo, when we are equipped with more wisdom, an obstacle will cease to become an obstacle when we already have the wisdom to gear towards it. So that is it for our session for tonight. Maraming salamat for those who shared and stayed with us during our session for tonight. I will see you again next Tuesday. But of course, watch out for this Sunday's episode, the weekly tarot reading for tonight. Maraming salamat. This is Marky Mendoza uli. Lagi-lagi ni papaalala, keep trusting the process. Maskaram. Maraming salamat, everybody. Have a great night. Maraming salamat.